have some questions?
Yes.
You have a question? Who is my hero? My grandmother. She's my hero. She came from Portugal. She did not have, formal American education. She had an education in the Azores. She came from a very small village, Pico de Padre, and then she came to Fall River with her husband, my grandfather, and they built a life here. My grandmother eventually became a teacher at Talbot Middle School. So you all know Talbot, right? Mm-hmm. My grandmother eventually became a teacher.
My older sister goes to Talbot.
So imagine that. She came from a little tiny village in an island, and came to Fall River, and she became a teacher in the school system. And she is, I spoke to her a little while ago today. I talk to her almost every day. She is my best friend.
Okay.
Thanks for coming.
How's everything okay?
Good. Yeah, this is a documentary that's being filmed for Portugal, in Portugal.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's going to air in Portugal. So very good. All right.
Vim para a América com 34 anos de idade. Estou aqui já há 40 anos e desde que vim nunca me neguei a trabalho nenhum. Quando cheguei, trabalhei numa fábrica, mas pouco tempo, 2 meses. Depois fui para a universidade. Trabalhava durante o dia e à noite ia para a universidade para tirar os meus cursos. Consegui tirar o curso de professora em 3 anos no Rhode Island College. Depois tirei o meu Master's na Brown University e, como tinha tempo ainda, tirei um curso de contabilidade. Tive 11 anos de professora e cerca de 20 anos também ensinei alunos adultos e faço voluntariado numa casa de terceira idade.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, like educations and jobs?
Yeah, sure. So I went to school in Fall River. I went to Bishop Connolly High School, and I went to Providence College and studied political science and marketing, got my bachelor's degree, and then I came back to Fall River and I ran and I became the youngest city councilor. I was 20 years old, and I was then the youngest mayor in the city, and I was elected at 23 years old to mayor. So pretty cool. So somebody in here want to be a politician one day?
Me.
Yeah?
Well, they want to be a mayor.
Want to be a mayor? Okay. Yeah. I'm first generation, right? So I was born here. My parents were born overseas, and my grandparents certainly were born overseas and back home as well. So in one generation, their first generation of their children being here in this country, their son became the mayor of the city they moved to. That is an unbelievable story, and it's a huge honor for me, and it's a huge responsibility, but that doesn't happen every day, and it doesn't happen all over the country. I would argue that most cities in the United States, their mayor, first of all, is much older than me, and then secondly, is probably not a first-generation American, especially with ties to Portugal or Cape Verde. So for me, it's a huge honor, and I think for the community of Portuguese people here and overseas, back home, and Cape Verdeans as well, that they feel a sense of pride in me, which is a responsibility that I accept and carry every single day.
Uma vez a gente estava pensando a mudar fora da Flórida e ele diz, pai, sabes que um dia eu quero ser o chefe da Câmara, so não saia da Flórida, compra uma casa aqui em Flórida. So compramos e fizemos uma casa em Flórida por causa dele, mais ou menos.
I entered into politics because I wanted to make a difference in my hometown. And I often tell people that it's not being a politician that I wanted to be. It was that I'd be a politician in Fall River, that I wanted to enter an elected office in Fall River. If I were living somewhere else, or I moved after college somewhere else, I wouldn't have run for office. I would have gotten a job, maybe in corporate America. I would have did my own business, whatever it may be. But after college, I went to college in Providence College. I came back to the city, and I felt very connected, and I felt that I could make a difference. That's probably from my upbringing. But I started in doing public service, community service at 13 years old. So only 3 years more for you guys. I already was starting to kind of go to different meetings in the city, go to the Boys and Girls Club, YMCA. I was always involved in city activities from a very young age, probably about 13 years old. From 13 on, I was involved in numerous youth groups, Teens Against Drug Abuse. Drugs was an issue even then, when I was 13 years old, for this community. So we wanted to provide young people healthy alternatives to drug abuse in the city of Fall River. And then just became interested in politics, knew different mayors that were here in the city of Fall River, at least 3 of them, and just got to know them, and then decided to run for office after college. So it was the city of Fall River that gave me that opportunity, and it's now my chance to give back. And that's really a story that I think only happens in the city of Fall River.
What is it like being a mayor?
It's a lot of work. So it's long days, early meetings, late nights. Everywhere that I go, people ask me questions, like today. But even if I'm at the gym or if I'm at lunch or dinner, people will ask me about snow plowing or potholes or schools and books and all kinds of stuff.
What are some of your duties?
Some of my duties? Well, there's a lot of duties, but I run the school committee meetings, so all the schools, the superintendent, myself, the school committee members, we run all the meetings that do everything for the schools. So making sure that classrooms are funded with money, right? Taxpayer dollars, to make sure that you get a good education, to pay your teachers, the facility, the building itself, all that kind of stuff. So that's one responsibility. But the other responsibilities are really that I have to manage all the different departments. So police, firefighters, trash, the waterfront, downtown. I've got to manage all those different projects. It's a lot of work, a lot of duties. We're really excited about some of the things that we've done, and we'll talk about some of those things, right? So we added more policemen and more firefighters than we've done in the past, right? That's right. So that means more walking beats on South Main Street. I don't know if you heard about our plan to install mobile cameras along South Main Street, North Main Street, the waterfront. We want you to be very safe in your community. We have, for the first time in a long time, reduced classroom sizes. So I don't know how many people here have grandkids and maybe great-grandchildren, but if they're in the Fall River school system, those classroom sizes have gone down, not up, in the last 2 years. So we're excited about that. We are right now doing a study of every single city building and every single city street, and really trying to rate and explain and find what is the handicap accessibility needs of those buildings and sidewalks especially. I know that you're concerned about can you make it over and under and up and across different sidewalks in our community. We have released a plan that we're implementing to upgrade most of downtown sidewalks and streets. It won't all happen at once because it's very expensive, but as long as we're moving in that direction, I hope that it'll make your life a little bit easier. And that's really my job. So just the last thing I want to talk about is the city's fiscal health, its financial health. 2 years ago, the mayor was talking about the city being on the brink of receivership. We had $500,000 left in the city savings account. That's it. We had spent all the other money. And today, I'm happy to tell you that we have $8 million in stabilization funds. That's right, yeah. So we're almost there. That's not bad. One person can truly make a difference. We hear that our whole lives growing up, that one person can make a difference. But being a mayor shows you how much of a difference you can make. You can truly make a difference in so many people's lives every single day, and that is truly an honor and a privilege. And it's also a great responsibility. How many people here park on the street? Are there people that park their car here on the street? All right, there's a few. I just want you to know, that our administration is making sure that you can continue to do that. There are certain city councilors, I don't want to say any names, and certain people running that want to see your cars not be able to park on the city street because you're taking away from parking. Well, I want you to know that I'm protecting your rights to park on our streets, okay? And I just want you to keep that in mind.
Thank you for the food.
Oh, you're welcome.
And I'm gonna vote for you.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you
I
so
voted
much.
last time.
Thank you, okay?
Yeah,
Enjoy.
I'm happy you won last time.
Thank
You're
you.
gonna
Me
win
too.
this time again.
Thank you. Thank you so much, okay? Hi, how are you?
This is my friend.
How are you? Good, good. Food is good? Good food?
Eu não speak inglês, é
Comida bem?
É português.
Comida bem?
Mas já votei por si.
Thank you. Muito obrigado. Muito obrigado.
E a ver também a votar.
Muito obrigado.
You're gonna vote for
Yeah, good, good. Okay, enjoy. Thank you. Personality is definitely more important in local elections than the affiliation, specifically here in Fall River. And it's the smile, the smiling is so important, in politics. But people want to see a friendly face, and they want you to listen to their concerns and tell them the truth too. You can't tell people that you're going to make everything better overnight. It takes time. So telling them that things are going to get better is one thing, but showing them that things are getting better is another thing. Actions speak louder than words, even in politics. So I think that's the key.
What is the best part of your job?
Oh, that's a tough question. The best part, it's going to sound silly because I'm here doing the best part. This is the best part. Seeing smiling faces like you guys and walking down the street, and sometimes kids your age recognize me before parents recognize me.
My mom, when she first heard of you, she was like, I think I recognize him. And I was like, I recognize him before you.
Oh, see that? See? So that's the best part. It is definitely a cultivation of a relationship with every voter, and even the next generation of voters, the children that can vote yet, that cannot vote yet. And that's important too. And it's a 24-hour job. Hello, everybody. How we doing? Everybody good? Hey, how you doing? Hi, everybody. I am the mayor, yes. How are you? You guys are good? What are we doing? We're drawing?
Yeah. We're doing our Lights on After School project.
Okay, how you doing? Nice to see you.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, guys. Everybody good? Hi. So, how was school today? Was it good? All right. I am the mayor. Yeah. All right. So, are we excited for Halloween? Yeah, everybody has their costumes? Yeah. Yes, good. Anybody going to be an alligator? No? Nobody's going to be the school mascot?
Flash.
Okay, Flash, good. Star Wars, okay.
Right before Halloween.
Wow. Yeah.
Hugs.
What is it?
Do you like having hugs
Yes, of course. Okay, good. All right, everybody. Take care, okay? Your life becomes the office of mayor. And being the mayor is a very big responsibility.
How long is the term for mayor?
Only 2 years, so I have to run every 2 years. The term is quick. 2 years is a very short period of time. But at the same time, it does give an opportunity for democracy to really continue at a pace that a 4-year term doesn't give. I can't say that I disagree necessarily with a 2-year term. I think it holds the elected mayor's feet to the fire. It's a lot of work. It's more work for the candidate. It's more work for the campaign. No question about it. And it also is sometimes more work for the office because it speeds projects up. The announcement that could wait a 3rd year cannot. It needs to be done within the 2 years. So it has a very interesting effect. And I can't say with all certainty that it is too short or not long enough without there being pros and cons on both sides. It is tough to think long term. It is a perpetual campaign, and you aren't really planning for the long term. People make decisions about taxes and different things based on election cycles instead of the needs of the community. We try to, and it could be a big problem. We try in my administration to think long term.
Menos de 2 anos e ele está mudando a cidade. Temos 19 meses, pelo menos, que ele está no chefe da Câmara. Está fazendo um trabalho muito bem, na minha opinião. Esta é a minha opinião, eu o pai dele, sou o piano, mas muitas pessoas que eu conheço estão dizendo isso todos os dias a mim, que ele está fazendo um trabalho excelente.
Ele não se cansa de trabalhar e sempre ouve as pessoas e gosta de fazer tudo o que as pessoas lhe pedem, não é? Ele quer agradar a toda a gente, mas é claro que é impossível, não é? Mas eu tenho a certeza que ele tem feito um trabalho muito bom.
If people don't like what I'm doing, they always cannot elect me. So that's how I do this job, and I think that more politicians should be that way. It's not about self-preservation. I can do a lot of other jobs. I'm 25 years old. I can do a lot of other things, and I can live in a lot of different places.
How old do you have to be to be mayor?
You have to be 18 years old. You have to be 18 or over, and you have to be 18 or older for what else? To vote, right? So it makes sense that you can be 18 plus and vote. How old are all of you?
I'm 10.
10? So think about that. I'm only 13 years older than all of you. When I was elected mayor, I was 13 years older.
You were 13 years old when you got elected.
13 years older than you when I was elected mayor.
Do you have any children?
No, no kids. I'm still a kid. First election, my opponent, certainly talked about my age as being a handicap. That how can someone 3 times younger than him, certainly run the city, a city that has a $261 million budget with so many different employees. Most of them, if not all of them, would be older than me. And the voters had a decision to make, and that decision was probably not an easy one. And they had to really take a leap of faith that somebody that was probably either their age, maybe younger than them, or they had children. That was one of the things that I heard on the campaign trail all the time. Well, I have kids your age. I wouldn't trust my kids to running my household, never mind the city of Fall River. How do you expect me to put my vote and faith in you? When I decided to run, it needed to be, could I do this job and could I make a difference? And that's really the question that I asked myself, and the answer was yes. And there was a lot of people that did not think a 23-year-old could be the mayor of one of the top 10 largest cities in the state of Massachusetts. But through the hard work of a good team, my parents, my grandparents, and the citizens trusting me to be their next mayor, we were successful. And in our case, we have a good record to run on. We went from $500,000 to $8 million in surplus. We funded our school system and reduced classroom size. So we went from classrooms of 32 kids in some cases to no more than 27 kids in just 1 year. It's a big drop across the whole district. We added more police officers, 7 new police officers this past year, 5 new firefighters. We upgraded our roads. And I really just told voters, hey, if we succeed, then you'll be very happy and you can re-elect me. If we don't succeed, then you don't have to re-elect me.
Eu estou sempre ajudando o meu filho na campanha. Isso é um orgulho para estar aqui e estar ajudando o meu filho sempre. E qualquer coisa que o meu filho queira fazer, eu sempre dou um grande apoio para ele, porque ele é um bom rapaz, um bom filho.
Ele era muito esperto e via nos seus jogos, não é? Eu julgava que ele iria ser um cientista, uma pessoa, um arquiteto, que ele gostava muito de fazer buildings e não construções. E era muito esperto, fazia-me cada pergunta, não é, que eu ficava a dizer, ele vai ir, vai ir além, mas não sabia, nunca me passou por ideia.
How do you run for mayor?
How do you run for mayor? You've got to get 50 signatures, so 50 people that are registered to vote, so they have to live in Fall River, have to sign a piece of paper that says that they endorse you as a mayor. And then you submit that in, and then you can go and campaign and knock on people's doors and go on the radio and just ask people to vote for you on election day. The hard work that is a campaign, the knocking on doors, the going to events, the handshaking, the talking about the message, the going on the radio, that was so important. And then it was also the message that we brought was positive. It is so important. In today's political climate, we have to be positive. It's a nonpartisan election. Everybody can run, of all parties and any parties, primarily the 2 main parties, Republican and Democrat. And it is just the top 2 vote getters at the end of the primary who go on to the final. I'm very involved in the Democratic Party with the state, as well as the federal delegation, which is mostly Democrats. We have a very good relationship.
Eu fiz anúncio, não é, na rádio, que era a avó dele. Muitas pessoas me telefonaram a dizer que gostava e que tinham muito prazer, sentiam-se muito orgulhosas de ter um filho de Pico da Pedra, um neto de Pico da Pedra, concorrer para presidente da Câmara de Fall River.
The background of being Portuguese and Cape Verdean here in the city of Fall River is absolutely an asset. From the simple fact that so many people still speak the language and my ability to understand it, I don't fully speak it, but I certainly do understand it, is a big deal. It's a separator. You actually, in Fall River, interestingly enough, most of the elected officials probably today have a Portuguese background. From the city council to the school committee members to the mayor's office. At least 3 of the last mayors out of maybe the last decade, last 10 years, and a little bit even longer than that, have been Portuguese. We've had that element in politics here in the city for a while, And then it's everything else as well. I mean, we have the feasts all summer long. You have the Portuguese band clubs. So it's very much ingrained into the duties of being the mayor. Those are organizations that expect to see the mayor participating in their activities. So it's a very important advantage for me to be of Portuguese descent, especially the Cape Verdean people. They are very excited about me being the mayor, especially of my age.
Eu sou cabo-verdiano e a mãe dele é a portuguesa da São Miguel. So, a comunidade está toda bem contente e está todo sentindo orgulho que temos uma pessoa que é de nós, que está na chefe da Câmara e outra vez está fazendo trabalho muito bem para os anos que ele tem e tudo está. Isto é uma coisa muito. Estou sentindo sempre muito orgulho.
Culture is so important in politics, and the Portuguese culture in Fall River, I can't speak for other communities, but is very, very strong and very intertwined with politics, both as a showcase of our history and our cuisine for those that are visitors or people that are within the community. We have a great relationship with our senators and our state representatives, all the way from the federal level to the local level, and that is a very, very important piece to this. They go on, I'm a newbie kind of, some of them have been around a lot longer than me, but they go on trips all the time to Portugal and the Azores. I look forward to taking some of the trips with them, but that connection is very, very strong, and those relationships are so important.
Eu acho que dia ele vai lá. Os presidentes da Câmara da minha Ilha Brava já convidou ele para ir para lá muitas vezes, mas está trabalhando agora. Só quando tem tempo, quando a cidade está avançando mais, eu penso que ele vai tirar um tempo para ir lá e visitar a ilha que o pai nasceu.
My dad asks me every other week, when are you going to go to Cape Verde? My mom, not as much. She knows that I've been back to Portugal, and I've been to São Miguel. I've been to all the different communities within São Miguel, Pico de Pedra, which is where my mom was from. That was cool. I think I actually saw her house. We have a Portuguese caucus. There's a few. I think there's one mayor from Hawaii that's Portuguese, and there's several others. It's New Jersey as well, and then certainly our region. And we do have a small Portuguese caucus of mayors. Officially, there's like maybe 12 of us all together that are in the Portuguese caucus. We don't get together a lot, but we do get together when we have our conferences, which happens once in the summer and one in the winter. Portuguese caucus in the United States would be, very important to continue to expand and explore and recruit, and also ensure, and I think this is the key, and encourage people of Portuguese descent and Cape Verdean descent to get involved in politics. To try to run for office, whether it's local, state, or federal office. I think that needs to be encouraged.
Do you like to have fun?
I like to have fun, of course. Who doesn't like to have fun?
Yeah, but like on Saturdays, on Sundays, do you have work on?
Oh yeah, I work 7 days a week.
Wait, you want
Saturdays?
Do you
Yeah.
work every single day?
Every day.
I like to work.
Every day. Yes.
Do you have a favorite hobby?
My favorite hobby? I don't know if it's a hobby, but I really like the movies. So I love watching movies, but I love going to movie theaters.
Do you really like horror movies?
Horror movies? Yeah, I like some.
I
I
love horror
don't like it when there's too much blood and stuff. I don't like that. There's a scary movie on every other Tuesday of the month. It's called the City Council meetings. I'm just kidding.
Isn't-
So much.
All right, everybody, take care. Okay, you're welcome.
Maybe we'll come to visit.
Yeah, come by the office. Okay.
Wait, what?
People do have history and culture that they want to share, and they should storytell about their parents and the struggles of their grandfathers and grandmothers, and coming from an island of San Miguel and Pico de Pedra, a small village, and coming to America and becoming a teacher in the public school system, like my grandmother did, and then her son becoming the leader of that same school system in one generation. I mean, that is an incredible story that is part of our culture.